Think about your daily interactions. From the moment you wake up to the moment we lie in bed, we communicate nonstop. We communicate with our friends, family, colleagues, and even strangers. Whether it's a heartwarming conversation with a loved one or a simple nod of acknowledgement with a stranger, communication is omnipresent. But before we dive into our speech today, let's first understand what communication really is. In simple terms, it's the act of transferring information from one entity to another, available in different forms, including the verbal and the nonverbal. Now, imagine what life would look like without communication. A world where your brilliant ideas are expected to sit only inside your head, where personal thoughts and personal experiences are locked away, unable to reach another being. We won't be able to share our laughs or seek comfort in times of sorrow. No more drama talks or spill the tea moments with your best friends, no more secret party planning, and no more talking the back of someone you don't like. Progress and innovation as a whole would come to a halt, and the very essence of our human existence would simply diminish. Without communication, we can't live because we don't live alone, and we have to communicate in order to understand what that person is feeling. Today, I'm here to share the importance of communicating effectively and give you some advice on how to do it. Starting with nonverbal communication. Studies have suggested that nonverbal communication accounts for 55% of how an audience perceives the speaker. The listener gathers hints from the speaker, whether it's through speech patterns, eye contact, hand gestures, or facial expressions. It's about perceiving information in a more nuanced way. When someone looks into your eyes when they're speaking, the more likely you will think that person is fond of you or that person is confident. However, if they keep avoiding eye contact or stuttering or pausing in between the conversation that you're having with, the more likely you will think that person is not enjoying the time they are having with you. Nonverbal communication or expressions complement what is being said verbally, namely a smile or a nod reinforces the positive messages being delivered, reinforcing the message and enhancing understanding. Like so, it helps with memory retention. When information is paired with relevant gestures or visual aids, it is more likely to be remembered. As said to communicate with body language rather than just taking in the tedious words. The impact of nonverbal communication is significant, much more than you can think of. So I would suggest that you go practice smiling or meeting everyone's eye contact when you are having a conversation with them. Now, I want everyone to smile. Say cheese! Nonverbal communication or expressions not only influence the listener, but actually fools yourself too. Like right now, when you smiled, it turned into a chuckle and then eventually into a laugh. And a simple small laugh can make your day great. It's always the smallest things that make you happy. Now, let's move on to verbal communication. I'll be dividing this into two parts, words and sentences, starting with words. Words are very powerful tools that its importance cannot be measured with numbers. They reveal very much about us. Let me show you an example. Let's say that you're working with someone and that person is a really slow worker. So you say, "You're really slow. Work faster." But what if I tell you there's another alternative way of delivering the same information in a way that person won't feel hurt? Let me demonstrate. Instead of saying that, you can say you have a really careful and a thoughtful approach to tasks, which is great for accuracy, but sometimes a little bit more speed might help you balance things out. You see the way I put it there, the accurate words that I picked really makes you look like a whole different person. Words never die. Once spoken, it cannot be taken back. You have to consider the impact your words will have, and choose them wisely. The English language offers us about 170,000 words, but I'm not telling you to familiarize yourself with every single word. But I would suggest that you learn at least 3 words a day. Let's start small. And 3 words a day, you'll know 1,095 words a year, 2,015 words for 2 years. Keep doing that, and you'll be able to find the perfect word that feels right for you in the accurate situation that you want to describe. Now, let's move on to our sentences. To make sure that our sentences are well constructive, I want to introduce you to the THANKS technique. Thanks stands for true, helpful, affirming, necessary, kind, and sincere. I read this in an article, but the one to coin this phrase was named anonymous. So someone out there, if you coined this phrase, I thank you, as it is helping a lot of people communicate in the most effective way possible. Every word or every sentence we say out loud should meet the THANKS criteria in order to make sure that no one is hurt from the way we deliver our speeches. Or, as we say it from a young age, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it. Now that we have learned or dealt with the importance of communication, let's move on to discover how we should communicate. In a world filled with noise, clarity is key. People prefer short and clear messages, so we must be direct and transparent about how we structure them. Moving on, one of the most influential ways we communicate is the way we frame things. The framing effect occurs when our decisions are influenced by how information itself is presented to us. The same information can be more or less appealing depending on the highlighted features. Let me show you an example. Imagine there's 2 cups of ice cream. One is labeled 30% fat and the other is labeled 70% fat-free. Which one would you choose? Fat-free. Thank you. Just like right now, most of you guys have answered that you guys would choose the 70% fat-free option. Most people would choose the 70% free option, fat-free option. Why? Well, it's all because of perception. While both ice cream cups convey the same information, the same amount, the same fat, the same calories, people still prefer the 70% fat-free option because the 30% fat highlights the fat content and where the 70% fat-free option highlights the absence of fat. Like this, the same information can be more or less appealing and it can have a positive or negative impacts on our lives. So you can either be careful of how you frame things or master the framing effect in order to drive out the actions you want from the listener. And one more thing that I want to quickly mention before I wrap up my presentation is the importance of reading. Reading is a powerful tool for expanding your vocabulary and consequently your ability to communicate effectively. Through reading, you encounter new words, new ideologies, new topics that will enhance your language and broaden your limits. So we should read a variety of books from different cultures and different timelines. In conclusion, communication is not just an aspect of life, but it is rather life itself. No one else knows what you truly feel inside except you. Be careful of how you deliver your speech or your personal thoughts, as it could be easily misunderstood or overly interpreted. Every one of us has the potential to either save or kill with our words. Be a savior, not a killer. Thank you.